Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Week 6 in our 7-week championship series, the Dungeons Drogans PvP Tournament. This will be the last of our semi-final matches before we move into the Grand Finals next week. Coltaine has already made it to the Grand Finals, but who will he face?
Rekoj.
It seems we have a lot of faith on Rheked's side of the battlefield going into this combat. As some of you may know, both Rekoj and Rhekd are characters of Dave's. However, in order to avoid this being just completely banal, Dave is not going to control both characters. We're instead going to have Doug controlling Rekoj because he is Rekoj's number 2. And he actually helped make Rekoj the very lovable character that he is. In the northwest corner, I can't even say in the red trunks, so they're both in the red trunks. In the northwest corner, wielding a warhammer and his holy symbol, we have Rhekd, the Preacher Man, Hill Crusher.
I don't crush hills, though.
And in the southeastern corner, wielding a long sword and a heavy shield, we have Rekoj, Good People, the Warden.
Rekoj is good people.
Combatants, are you ready?
I guess.
Rash.
Then let's get ready to fumble! Roll initiative.
Oh, it's CJ. Oh, I don't know why I sound like Scooby-Doo in that one.
And Rhekd rolls a 20.
Rekoj rolls a 7.
No fumbling at all for Rhekd, getting a massive initiative lead over Rekoj. Will he be able to capitalize on it? We shall soon find out. Banal is how you pronounce it, right? It's not banal?
Yeah, but now.
Although banal is funnier. Alright, Rhekd.
Yes. Can I move?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Thank you. Rhekd will move towards a pair of double doors.
Oh, I know where you're moving.
And he opens a door.
I know what you're doing.
For those listening at home, Dave in fact has not revealed what he's doing because he's in a room with 2 sets of double doors. In fact, head on to the main blog, the homepage at D&D-D.com to actually see the image of the battlefield we're using, and you'll be able to somewhat follow along. Which door do you open?
I'm smart enough.
The one I'm right in front of.
It is done.
And that should be it, folks.
Rekoj.
Okay, Rekoj moves this way. And then he uses his other action, and he moves some more to the doors, which he opens. Or he crawls over the rubble, which is not the doors. Okay, he opens the door. And that's it.
Interesting positionings from both of our combatants in this first round. Round 2, Rhekd.
Indeed. Well, okay. Let's do this.
Nothing good ever starts with, let's do this. Because it's invariably followed by a very cliched expression.
I open the door.
Never had sex, CJ?
Oh, such interesting positioning. Rekoj.
Rekoj does this, and then he does this. Done.
Alright. Very interesting. I'd be more descriptive, but I don't want to give the positions away. Round 3, Rhekd. Rhekd moves around. Rekoj is up.
Rekoj does this, and then he does this.
Round 4, Rhekd.
Okie doke.
Can I act now?
Absolutely.
Cast Bless on myself.
Rhekd buffing himself before the battle. Again, we're halfway through round 4. Our combatants have yet to see each other. Rekoj.
Okay. Rekoj does this, and Rekoj passes a note to the Dungeon Master.
I intercept the note.
Alright, I've read Doug's note. Is that it for this turn? Alright, round 5, Rhekd.
Rhekd just stays exactly where he is, and he stands by to cast a Sacred Flame if he sees Rekoj running at him.
Is that a ready to action?
Absolutely, sir.
Rekoj.
Rekoj moves here, and then he moves here.
Hold up, because as you pass here, Rhekd sees you. Is that within range of your spell?
No, it's not. But now I know where he is.
Absolutely. So
Yes,
Rhekd standing right in the middle of the battlefield, and yes, Doug, Rekoj also saw Rhekd standing in the middle of the battlefield, as Rhekd saw Rekoj skirting along the southern edge, running from cover to cover.
Anyway, Rekoj then moves. Oh, I can see him. I have one move space left. There!
I can go?
I was trying to find the YouTube video for the TOS fight with Kirk and those gladiators, and it's the dun 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 dun.
Oh, yeah! Oh, that's some old stuff there.
Round 6, Rhekd is up. We are 2 rounds away from the battlefield beginning to collapse.
Mm-hmm. Rhekd moves a
And now
then
clearly
taunts-
sees wreckage.
and taunts the Goliath, and he still readies to shoot the sacred flames the moment he gets in range.
What's the range? 5?
Yeah, 5.
Thanks for telling me that.
Wreckage. Well, what are you gonna do? Avoid him the entire fight?
Yeah. So this is just cover. This, like, southeastern pillar sort of collapsed across towards the dice.
No cover, no. That collapsed pillar is simply difficult terrain.
Oh, okay, just difficult terrain. But it covers all the way to that. Those little triangle things. Right?
Pardon?
Those tiny little isosceles triangles represent the difficult terrain.
That's correct.
Okay. So wreckage move like this.
He's in range.
Go ahead, Rhekd.
That's not range. Oh, it is range.
Rhekd rolls a 19 versus reflex, dealing 7 points of radiant damage.
Rhekd takes wreckage down to 45 out of 52 hit points, drawing first blood.
You heard that. First blood.
So continue with your turn, wreckage.
Wreckage move some more. Wait, were we not using action points?
By default, you do use action points.
Okay, so I moved 3 spaces. I'm now face to face. I will use an action point. And I do a strength of stone attack against Rhekd Hill Crusher. But damn! 24 versus AC. Hit for 13 damage.
Wreckage returns the favor with impunity. Rhekd down to 25? 25 out of 38 hit points. And Rhekd gains 3 temporary hit points from the attack. So Rhekd now virtually has 48 out of 52. Nearly double what Rhekd is sitting on. Round 7, Rhekd.
Rhekd will move away. Darn. Just
That's one move action.
yes, that's one move action. And then
So
he will
Rhekd
cast...
provokes an opportunity attack.
How does that provoke an opportunity attack?
Because I was
Any
standing
movement
next
that
to
is
you.
not a shift provokes an opportunity attack.
Ah, okay.
26 versus AC. Hit for 7 damage.
Rhekd down to 18 out of 38. Bloodied.
Oh, your first blood. That was so scary.
Then Rhekd will cast another Sacred Flame on Wreckage. Darn. 11 versus Reflex. 8 radiant damage. Probably missed.
That definitely misses. You should know more than anyone, because you know Rhekd's defenses.
Yes, unfortunately. Okay, that's it.
Wreckage.
Hello, dwarf. You run slowly.
Wreckage closes the distance. Once again in melee with Rhekd.
And let's do an earth shield strike. 16 versus AC.
And Rhekd parries with his warhammer.
Booyah!
Nick, did you put your money on me yet?
That's too late.
I don't think I can do anything else.
Round 8, Rhekd.
Wrecked. Let me think.
Rhekd sitting on 18 hit points. We've seen Wreckage's damage output. Rhekd could possibly go down in 2 more hits.
If I double move and that's it, that doesn't, does that still cause
If your first move is a shift, it does not provoke.
Wait, so even double moving nowadays, is it still provoked?
Unless you can point me to a rule that says otherwise, yes.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but you can still
Um,
shift and then move.
Oh yeah, but your shift is 1 square.
Yes.
So I remember in 3.0 you could retreat, which would be double move, and it doesn't take, you don't take an attack of opportunity. Okay. Rhekd will take a step back, and he will use his Beacon of Hope power. So the Beacon of Hope rolls a 16 versus Will, so it probably does hit Wreckage, and Wreckage is therefore weakened until the end of my next turn.
Indeed he is. That means Wreckage will be dealing half damage, which is still fairly significant damage at
Oh, yeah,
Rheked's
it's always-
current hit point level.
and I gain 5 HP.
So Rhekd back up to 23, no longer bloodied. Rekoj.
Okay, give me a minute, please.
Rekoj thinks Rekoj is real smart. Rekoj gonna smack little man.
So Rekoj moves here and performs a thundering ram assault.
Rekoj has positioned himself so that Rhekd sits between the pit and the Goliath. Rhekd is but 10 feet away from the pit. He could possibly be knocked into it.
Oh no! Rekoj's not very strong.
Oh, I don't have any do-over abilities, do I?
No, you don't.
Well, it's 13 versus AC, which I guess is not enough.
Rekoj missing with his encounter power.
I guess the fates want for a greater fight than simply pushing a dwarf into a well.
Round 9, Rhekd.
Rhekd takes a step back, and then he will cast another Sacred Flame at Rekoj. Yay! Rolls an 18 against Reflex for 11 points of radiant damage.
Rhekd strikes, bringing Rekoj down to 37 out of 52 hit points. Rekoj is up. He's no longer under the effects of the weakened condition, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so Rekoj moves...
But you should
like so?
yes.
And, does there, sorry, hiccups again. Strength of Stone attack. 23 versus AC. Most likely a hit for 9 damage.
Rekoj bashes Rhekd, or slashes Rhekd, I should say, down to 14 out of 38 hit points. Round 10, Rhekd.
Rhekd steps backwards, well, slideways actually. He casts another Sacred Flame at Rekoj. 12 versus Reflex. And then as a minor action, I'll use my Armor's Second Wind.
Rhekd finally begins to tap into his deep pool of incredible healing powers. I expect him to gain about 20 hit points from this.
Not that much actually, because this is just a normal, it's the armor thingy, so it's nothing.
So Rhekd heals back up to 23 out of 38. Rekoj.
Is it still his turn?
Okay, so... if I want to get the most out of a bull rush, my move speed is 6. That's... the bull rush is part of a, like, I can do a move, and then the bull rush can be my second move, right?
Absolutely.
So Rhekd is there. That's 1, 2, 3. So I can position myself here, and then do my bull rush.
That you can. Rekoj looking to bull rush now. Rhekd into the pit.
So Rekoj goes here, and bull rush. You make a strength attack versus fortitude. I include my speed?
No, Doug?
No.
Plus 1/2 level or not? I think it is.
So I roll my strength plus half level? CJ, are you
That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. And then, but like, I get a bonus from the distance I'm traveling, right?
Only the fact that you are charging. But charging requires a certain distance.
Oh, charging requires a certain distance.
You can't charge.
Okay, well, I'm getting the most charge out of this anyway.
Rekoj likes to run.
Hiccups. So I guess I just rolled my plus 1/2.
That's right.
Badam. I make a strength check and get a 25!
That is definitely much higher than Rhekd's fortitude defense. Rekoj looking to end this fight right here and now to push Rhekd back 1 square into the pit, and he's definitely rolled a number high enough to do so.
But no, you don't. Rhekd is a dwarf. One of the cool little abilities of being a dwarf is that you stand your ground. And in this case, I don't get pushed.
Dwarven racial features stand your ground when an effect forces you to move. You move 1 square less than the effect specifies. Therefore, Rhekd does not fall down the pit and foils Rekoj's plan.
Wait, what? He didn't... what?
Too caught up in celebration there?
How? I don't...
Dwarves have a racial ability that when they're forced to move, they move one less square, including possibly 0 squares. So if you try to move a dwarf 1 square, he doesn't move at all.
Bullshit.
Shouldn't there be a minimum of 1?
Yeah, the minimum is 0.
The minimum is 0?
That it is.
We
Alright,
stand our
Derek, just
ground.
wail on him then.
That is BS.
Just wail on him then.
Whatever, I'll do this the old-fashioned way. I'm not worried.
I call this a miss combat because there's apparently a second person that is helping the main controller of Rekoj. I demand victory by forfeit and cheating.
Yeah, we have Nick whispering over Doug's shoulder, telling him what to do.
What?
Does Rekoj do anything else this round?
Rekoj sits down and cries.
Rhekd.
Rek takes a step back, and then he will cast another Sacred Flame. He rolls a 24 against Rekoj's reflex, dealing 9 points of radiant damage.
Rhekd scalds Rekoj with Divine Light down to 31 out of 52. Rekoj.
Rekoj decides to do this the old-fashioned way, since thinking is obviously not helping. Close the distance, strength of stone. All I need. Bam! 26 versus AC, 10 damage.
Rekoj wallops Rhekd down to 13 out of 38. Round 12, Rhekd bloodied again.
Rek will take a step back, and then he is going to he's going to withdraw. Then he will use his second wind, the real second wind, which in this case does benefit from a +5. And wait, the normal second wind does benefit from almost everything that I have, right?
What is everything?
Well, my pacifist healing, my healer's lore, my +5 obviously, right?
Names mean nothing to me. You gotta say what the... I mean, you should definitely have this stuff established for when we are actually in the campaign.
Yeah, well, once I'm actually in the campaign, I'll have a sheet there or something like that.
Why don't you have a sheet now? Because we could technically have already started the campaign.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, healer's lore, cleric powers, the healing keyword, add your wisdom modifier, okay.
If it said cleric powers, then I don't think second wind is a cleric power.
Okay. So I guess divine power doesn't work either?
Again, names mean nothing to me. You gotta say
No,
what...
I'm like, when I use a divine power, it doesn't count as healing surges. Well, it doesn't count as second wind either.
When you use divine power, it doesn't count as second
Okay.
wind? No, that's a question.
Pacifist healer is when you use a divine power that allows a target to spend a healing surge, so I guess that doesn't apply either. So it's just a +5 then.
And that +5 is from what?
Bastion of Defense. Not Bastion of Defense. Beacon of Hope, which is +5 to all healing, from what I understand.
Okay, rather than what you understand, why don't you just read exactly what it applies to?
Effect. You and your allies are in the burst regain 5 hit points, and your healing powers restore +5 hit points until the end of the encounter.
Well, Nick is correct. Second wind is not actually a power. And if it is, it doesn't have any keywords. Unless it was errated or something.
Let me check. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't apply.
Alright. So again, what Rhekd did was retreat from Rekoj and call upon a second wind. So Rhekd retreats from Rekoj, but not far enough so that Rekoj can't reach him in one move action, so... Curious, as we move to Rekoj, as Rhekd is now at 22 out of 38 and no longer bloodied again.
Rekoj moves here and cast Nature's Abundance. But damn.
Rekoj summons a 30-foot by 30-foot region that is filled with plants that provide him an AC bonus through cover. Round 13, Rhekd.
Okay.
Rhekd puts the pit
Actually,
between himself and Rekoj.
wait. That was actually the wrong...
Or he doesn't.
Rek moves slightly closer and then sends another Sacred Flame at Rekoj. This is cover regular.
That it is.
Rek rolls an 8 versus reflex. Misses.
Rekoj.
Alright, Rekoj move. There.
Round 14, Rhekd.
Well, Rek is pretty much gonna stay where he is, and if Rekoj comes back in range, he'll send some fire at him.
As we move to Rekoj's turn, the battlefield is now collapsed such that he is standing right on the outer edge, or right along the ledge, or edge. And if he stays here, he will die.
Oh, I would have thought those pillars would be closer to the center. So Rekoj moves down a bit. What's involved in equipping a different weapon?
Minor actions.
Like one minor action to unequip and minor action to equip?
Correct.
Huh, he has a bow, but he doesn't have any arrows.
Yep, he just collects weapons. For the sake of collecting weapons.
Well, he seems to have javelins. The range on his thing is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the moment, is it one minor action per main hand and offhand?
A javelin requires only one hand.
Yeah, but
Unless
since
I'm mistaken.
Since I'm wearing a shield, is it 2 minor actions to unequip everything? Oh, it only requires one hand. Right. So currently as a minor action, I will unequip my long sword. And over.
Round 15, Rhekd.
So Rek noticed that Rekoj is now picking up a javelin.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, well Rekoj is gonna, Rhekd is gonna move, I guess.
If you move diagonally across that square, I'll require a dex check.
And I'm ready to shoot more fire at him if he comes near me.
Rekoj.
Okay, Rekoj moves 1 square closer. Minor action, equip javelin. Oh shoot, now I don't know how to attack with a javelin. Heavy thrown, proficiency plus 2.
I think you just do a... I think if you do a melee basic attack, it would approximate what's required. Because it's heavy thrown, you use your strength instead of your dex. And I think you also add your strength to damage.
Do you want me to look that up real quick?
No, I'm there. Attack and damage rolls, yeah, so just roll basic melee.
Alright, assuming Dave inputted this correctly. Basic melee attack, 27 versus AC. 6 damage.
Rekoj impales Rhekd down to 16 out of 38.
What you gonna do about it, bitch?
Round 16, Rhekd.
Rhekd will move, and he will cast a Sacred Flame on Rekoj. Huh, 10 versus Reflex.
Rhekd sitting on 16 out of 38 hit points. Rekoj.
Alright, Rekoj launches another javelin. In the opposite direction. With a roll of 10 versus AC. And then as a minor action, unequip the javelin.
He has nothing in his hand to unequip.
Really? How does... Oh, okay. Slightly.
It's a thrown weapon, right? You throw the javelin and it's not in your hand anymore?
Wait, does that mean as a minor action, I equip it each time I'm gonna throw it?
Yeah, you don't hold like your whole stack of javelins, you gotta pull them out one at a time.
No, Doug, you throw air at me.
Well, no, it's like, it could be like he's got a quiver of javelins, and he equips that quiver of javelins.
I mean, you do have a quiver of javelins, but it's still a minor action to pull it out of the quiver.
Okay, so we're just assuming that I use my minor action at the beginning of the turn when I use the javelin.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now I'm unequipped, which is fine by me.
Rhekd. Round 17, the battlefield has stopped collapsing.
Sacred Flame on Rekoj. Wow, these rolls are just getting worse and worse. 9 versus Reflex.
Rekoj.
Alright, let's take that longsword back.
I think this battle might actually go longer than the Battle of the Souk.
Okay, and Rekoj closes the distance.
Hello, little man. You're not good people.
And let's do a Strength of Stone attack. What's up? 25 versus AC, 10 damage. Woo!
Rekoj slashes Rhekd down to 6 hit points. Rhekd on the brink of death. Round 18, Rhekd.
Rek steps back, uses Healing Word.
Rhekd
Now
bringing
I
out
get
his
to
big
heal a
healing
lot.
guns.
I need to roll 2d6. That's plus 9, so I get my Charisma mod, I get my Wisdom mod, I get my plus 9, I get my plus 5.
And your regular surge value, which is, what, another 9?
Yes.
So Rhekd is gaining 20 hit points on top of his regular surge value. Rhekd back up to 35 out of 38 hit points. Now with more HP than Rekoj.
He's just delaying
And
the
that's it.
inevitable.
Rekoj.
What to do? Oh, I forgot to add my hit points from the last one. I will do a Strength of Stone attack. I will step forward and Strength of Stone. But damn, 22 versus AC, 11 damage.
Rhekd back down to 24 out of 38. Rekoj sitting on a virtual 34 out of 52. Round 19, Rhekd.
Rhekd just withdraws because he cannot go in melee versus this crazy psycho.
Rhekd backing away, but running out of places to retreat to as he has these new walls around him. Rekoj.
Okay, I'm gonna take a risk here and assume that he doesn't have any abilities that push me more than 1 square. And Rekoj does the movement. And let's do an Earth Shield Strike since I've already got the. Actually, no. Let's do a Hungry Earth. Yes. Yes, let's do the Hungry Earth. 18 versus Fortitude for 10 damage.
Rekoj reduces Rhekd to 14 out of 38, once again bloodying him.
And everywhere in the burst of something is difficult terrain.
So that's burst 1 around Rekoj. So these squares are difficult terrain. But Rhekd
Just in
probably
case
won't be
you
shifting
wanted.
into those squares.
Yeah.
Rhekd. Rhekd once again simply falls back. Rekoj.
You can't run from me, little man. Good people better than little people.
And Earth Shield Strike. Critical miss.
Rekoj fumbles. Round 21, Rhekd.
I'm probably gonna die for this anyways, but Rhekd tries to grapple Rekoj.
Wait, what?
It's strength versus strength, or strength versus fortitude?
It's probably strength versus fortitude. I will tell you momentarily. Yeah, grab. Standard action. Strength versus reflex, in fact. Do not add any weapon modifiers. You must have at least one hand free to make a grab attempt. You do. On a hit, the enemy is immobilized until it escapes, or you end the grab. To sustain the grab, it is a minor action, and it is a standard action to move a grabbed target. And that is a strength versus fortitude attack.
Alright,
Hold on, so he can grab me and then move me?
It requires essentially 2 successful attacks to do so.
Which is pretty low odds. But I'll give it a
No,
try
I
since I
can
have
do that.
nothing. Since I have no other choice. So when they say strength, it's also 1 plus half level, I guess, just like Bull Rush.
That it is, yes.
Let's see what this gives. And it's horrible. And then I'm gonna move away.
Rhekd dancing with the devil, realizing he's in over his head and retreating.
Can't help but feel there's something slightly ridiculous in the imagery here. It's like, the dwarf grabs the Goliath, doesn't succeed, and then runs away, and the Goliath is just like, derp.
You fumbled, you're dazed.
That's true, that's true.
And that's the end of my turn.
Rekoj.
I want to try this grab thing. Oh, but he's a step away from the pit. It seems fun. It's like I could smash, or I could have fun. I'll just smash.
Remember, this is a best of 3.
So I'll at least get that
Rekoj just provoked an opportunity attack moving from this square to that one. If Rhekd wishes to take it.
Absolutely, I'll
to-
take anything that goes my way now.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Meh. Rolls a 12. Man, I'm really rolling low today.
Well, at least you haven't had a critical miss.
So Rekoj isn't doing anything else?
Oh, sorry. I got thrown off by him making the attack. I thought it was Thursday. No, yeah, I'm gonna do a Strength of Stone. 25 versus AC, 9 damage.
Rhekd down to 5 out of 38 hit points.
Over.
Round 22, Rhekd.
Ref shifts backwards and uses another healing word. Uh-oh, that's not good.
What's not good?
Only rolled a 4, so that's gonna be 50.
So this time around, Rhekd heals only back up to 29 out of 38.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 5 equals 15. How does 15 equal 24?
That's on top of his healing surge value,
Oh.
which is another 9.
Stop delay. How many healing surges do you have?
I think he just burned through everything he has. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
I think the better question is not stop delaying, but you stop delaying.
I've been hitting him non-stop. Rekoj. Oh, it's not.
Rekoj is up.
Rekoj moves forward and hits him with a Strength of Stone. 23 versus AC for 10 damage.
Rhekd down to 19 out of 38, and with no more ability to heal. Round 23, Rhekd, facing a mountain. Almost literally.
I give up. I'll just try this. What the hell? Rek tries to grapple the Goliath again.
And a note, when to move a grabbed target, you move up to half your speed and you pull the grabbed target with you. So a pull action means you bring the dude one square closer to you.
And that failed miserably because I rolled a 6.
Miserable indeed.
And that's the end of my turn.
Wreckage.
Strike the stone.
Critical hit.
13 damage.
Wrecked down to 6 hit points. It is do or die for the dwarf. He still has his action points, so he can probably make... No, he can pretty much only make one attempt to grab Wrecked, or Wreckage rather, and if he succeeds he can then use his action point to hopefully pull him. Round 24, Wrecked is up.
You know what I'm gonna try. It's the only thing I can try. Grapple. Hey, would my bless be added to this kind of attack roll?
I don't see why not. It's an attack roll.
Okay, +4 instead of +3. I rolled a 15. I'm not sure if that's enough.
That is just enough to grapple Wreckage.
And then I'll use my action point and try to pull him.
That's going to be a tougher battle because that's strength versus fortitude. And if we know Wreckage, we know he is fortuitous. And I know it means not the same thing at all.
No, it doesn't. Alright, folks, this is where it's do or die, and it probably will be about dying. So against strength versus thingy again, right?
Strength versus fortitude.
Which is 17, for the record.
Dave needs to roll at least a 13.
Just a second here. CJ, in my channel divinity, there's something called Divine Fortune, and it says you gain +1 bonus to your next attack roll or saving throw. But my bless says it's a power bonus. Is this the same thing, or is it not the same thing?
Does it not say what kind of bonus? You said it's what, divine metal?
It's called Divine Fortune. It says you gain a +1 bonus to your next attack roll. But it doesn't say power bonus or anything, it just says +1 bonus.
If it doesn't specify power bonus, then it probably does stack. I mean, this is a one-time thing, right?
Yeah, it's one time.
Should stack.
Excellent, I use it. So I get a +5, a meager +5. Let's roll
So
it.
he needs to roll a 12 or better.
Yes! Rhekd rolls a 19!
Unbelievable. At the 11th hour, Rhekd pulls out a streak of good luck, pulling Wreckage along. So where is Rhekd moving to? You can move up to half your speed. And you're pulling Wreckage with you.
So I guess I cannot... Can I toss him into the thing?
You cannot toss him. You can maneuver him in such a way that you're moving dangerously close to the pit, and he would fall in it.
I'll do just that.
Channel Divinity is a free action, so you're gonna end up there.
Yeah, I guess.
That means Wreckage's fate lies in a saving throw.
Wait,
He has a
hold on. How's he
55% chance.
Like,
He was
he
there.
started there. It's half his move speed. His move speed is 5. He has to pull him, so he's got... But he can't move diagonally across, can he?
He can. He's gonna risk falling in himself. That's gonna need a dex check, if that's what you
Wait,
want to do,
what?
Rhekd.
Yeah, why not? Let's both... It's either both or nothing.
I'm just not
Actually,
sure I agree with how
potentially,
he's
Wreckage
moving.
could not fall, and Rhekd would.
That could happen too. But at least it gives me a better chance than, say, just die on the next round.
Wouldn't he have to make the check before I make the check?
He's holding on to you. You're both making a check.
I don't agree with this.
Oh, and I fail miserably.
Rhekd is falling down the pit. Is Wreckage falling down as well?
What am I rolling?
A saving throw. You have a 55% chance of winning.
Just a regular save throw?
Unless you have anything special to add to that.
Haha.
Saves and fails. I don't
Oh
agree
boy.
with how he's moved, though.
With his dying breath, Wreckage Rhekd grabs Wreckage, and they both fall down the pit.
Can we make it so that now that it's a stalemate, whoever wins the best of 2 so that he can win faster?
If both parties agree on the next round being the winning round, I can
agree.
go with that.
I agree. Doug, agree.
Wait, agree to what?
Doug, say you agree. Say you agree.
What am I agreeing to?
You're agreeing that whoever wins the next match wins.
No, why would I agree to that?
Do you want to play 2 more matches?
My odds of winning are better if I play 2 matches instead of 1.
And how can you guys have forgotten the fact that I have Rekoj has former Winter's Herald?
That single power is what really makes Rekoj so powerful. Because once he gets in melee with someone, that's it. They can no longer shift away from him. So no more of this, I shift 5 feet and I spellcast on you again nonsense. Anytime he wants to shift, he's going to have to either purely shift and not attack, or provoke an opportunity attack.
And hence is the beauty of this character.
Like really, with Rekoj, you don't have to play smart in any way to win this match. You just charge straight up to Rhekd as quickly as you can, lock him down immediately, and you're good. We just wail on him, and there's very little he can do. Dave and I spent a good half hour going over the only ways that Rhekd could possibly win this matchup, and it all came down to that pit. Stay away from that pit, and there's just no way Rhekd can win. Because even if Rhekd manages to bloody Rekoj, once he attacks a bloodied opponent, he dazes himself. Just by attacking, not even
Stuns.
by doing damage. Yeah, stuns. Meaning
Stuns,
Rek's
that
gonna
means I
lose an
skip-
entire turn.
Yep. So I have no idea how I actually managed to kill both of us here.
Can I just forfeit? I really don't feel like fighting. No, okay. Next round wins, whatever.
Stick around for match 2 of this series, which will decide who moves on to the grand finals.